Imagine working tirelessly for over 20 years to perfect your profession and to ensure that you are ranked in the top 50 people worldwide for your skill set. But on the whim of an outdated organization's members, they deem your work to be illegitimate. While this sounds extreme and unreasonable, this is what multiple high-ranking golfers had to deal with on the PGA Tour in 2016. When anchoring was banned, many players could no longer play the game because the USGA deemed anchoring to be illegitimate. However, this does not have to be the end of these players' careers. In recent years, a new style of putting called arm locking has made its way to the PGA Tour, and has proved to be helpful in solving the problem of the USGA's inconsistent rule changes for players who have anchored in the past. To show how arm locking can be beneficial to players who have anchored in the past, we can look at the mechanism behind arm lock putting and the players who use it on tour today. Additionally, we can review the problem at hand and examine ways to include ourselves in the solution to this problem. To go back to why this discussion is even necessary in the first place, we must first understand the problem at hand. This problem has been the USGA's inability to alter golf's rules consistently. According to Daniel Wilco in his article for the PGA of America in 2018, How Driving Distance Has Changed Over the Past 40 Years on the PGA Tour, the average tour professional's driving distance increased almost 40 yards. This is an unprecedented change in the style of golf. However, the USGA decided in 2016 to ban anchoring, which according to Rule 14.1b in the book Rules of Golf that they authored and published, is defined as the player effectively holding the club against their bodies. The USGA banned anchoring because they deemed the players who used it to have a massive advantage. However, this is a baseless assertion because according to a study in the 2017 International Journal of Sports Science and Coaching performed by Ian Sherwin and Ian Kinney, they came to the conclusion that anchoring provided no true advantage to the players who used it. This shows how the USGA's rule alterations have been ineffective and inconsistent at preserving golf's integrity. As a result of this, golf's popularity is on a substantial decline, according to Nolan Gray in his article, Dead Golf Courses Are the New NIMBY Battlefield for Bloomberg in 2018. These rule changes have hurt thousands of golfers not only locally, but also nationwide. However, not all hope is yet lost. In recent years, players on the PGA Tour have adopted new styles of putting in an effort to regain their abilities that they once had with the anchored putting stroke. Perhaps the most popular and seemingly most effective of these new putting styles is the arm lock putting method. Arm lock putting is quite simple, and once it is mastered, it can prove to be lethal to your opposition on the golf course because it eliminates a great deal of wrist rotation, just like anchoring. After all, some of golf's greatest players who previously anchored their putters in the past have switched to the arm locking. According to Mike Stachura in his 2019 Golf Digest article, Is Arm Locking Like Matt Kuchar or Bryson DeChambeau Right for You? He explains that Matt Kuchar, Bryson DeChambeau, Bubba Watson, Webb Simpson, and Keegan Bradley are just a handful of golfers who have adopted the arm lock putting style, who previously anchored. However, players need to know a few things before they commit to arm lock putting. Firstly, one must purchase an arm lock putter to physically hit the ball with a putter. Secondly, players must also ensure that they are not breaking the rules by putting this way. The club cannot exceed their elbow. And lastly, players must determine whether or not they can comfortably putt the ball with this putting style. While anchoring is banned, and arm locking works for many people, it does not for some golfers. And they should be cautious of this before putting in a great deal of time and effort to learning this putting style proficiently. To show proper form for an arm lock putting stroke, I will demonstrate right here. The club should not go past the elbow. You should bring your arms down in a triangular motion and then rock your shoulders. Again, this putting style, while not effective for everyone, is the best solution to golfers struggling with the problem of the USGA's anchoring ban, and it can truly save careers. Now I know what you're thinking, this sounds great, but how can I be involved? What can I do to help implement this solution? Well, perhaps the most obvious thing for you to do would be to send the United States Golf Association a letter explaining to them why anchoring ban should be lifted, and that they should reconsider their rule alterations in the past 20 years. However, it is exceedingly unlikely that the USGA will reverse this rule change in the near future. So that means you must find a way to spread information about arm lock putting and encourage more golfers that you know to try it. This could include doing something as simple as talking to friends that you know who play golf and encouraging them to use the arm lock putting method. Or it could include dedicating time and effort into writing a letter to a major golfing news outlet to promote arm locking. Regardless, just spreading words of encouragement for arm lock putting helps expand the solution to the problem at hand, and gives broken-spirited golfers a new chance at excelling within the game. To summarize, far too many golfers have been harmed by the USGA's rule changes, but this does not have to result in the destruction of their golfing careers. The arm lock putting style has been shown to be an effective way for many golfers on tour to regain their abilities to putt. And you can help golfers locally and even nationwide by promoting this putting style for them to try. While arm lock putting may not be the right putting style for everyone who anchored their putters in the past, it certainly appears to be the best alternative putting style in current use. Many golfers' spirits have been crushed, feeling like their time has been wasted in their efforts to improve their skills over the past 2 decades, but it does not have to be this way. With your assistance, I know that we can fight to bring awareness of this different putting style to golfers locally and nationwide, to breathe life back into the game that they once loved to play. Thank you.